Welcome to Two Giant Goofballs, a New York Giants podcast. Are you a goofball that loves Giants football? If so, sit back and relax. Except you, that person driving. Sit up and keep your eyes on the road. Your ears, though, can still listen as we talk about the team that both excites and frustrates us so much. And now, here are your goofball hosts, Drew and Rob.
Welcome, fellow goofballs, to Two Giant Goofballs, a New York Giants podcast. I am Drew, joined as always by...
me, Rob. Let's talk about some mockery.
Oh, it's all kinds of mockery. It's the mock draft 3.0. Our very first live draft. I'm kind of interested to see how that works out here because I feel like you watch a lot of the other mock draft programs and they're done like, oh, I picked this player, then I picked that player. It's like, okay, how many times did you mock draft to get the guy you wanted? There is none of that there today. There isn't that today. We are going to go right into a live mock draft here later on for you guys today. Whoever we get, we get. So let's start off here with the first, letting you guys know that today's program is sponsored by Deb Ellis. And how she sponsors, she went to buy me a, thank you. She went to buymeacupofcoffee.com/2giantgoofballs.com. Again, that's buymeacupofcoffee.com/2 giant goofballs. And Deb, thank you very much. Much appreciated.
Mucho gracias.
Yeah, there we go. Good. I was about to say, make sure she's in the comments section so she knows that we saw it and we do appreciate it. Thank you, Deb. Very much appreciated. Alrighty, so today, guys, we got some Giant news to give you guys along with the mock draft here because, you know, it's the offseason, guys. There's never a day off. There's never a day off. And you know the way it's been lately, guys. Every single time we start, it's like there's a brand new video that I've created for the show. And guess what, guys? It's time for a brand new video. Oh, yeah.
It's time for the news.
It's time for the Giants news here. I didn't even give Rob fair warning that I was doing that. He's like, what the hell was that?
I thought we were about to do Cotton Eye Joe.
So we have a new signing here. We have a new Giant, a new New York Giant. Bobby McCain signed here. 121 games in his career, 87 starts. About to turn 30 years old. Played cornerback and both safety spots in the league in the past. This is a very versatile guy. Who does that sound like? A versatile guy in the secondary. Did we lose somebody recently that's a versatile guy in the secondary? I would love to know who that person could be that we're thinking.
With love.
Yes. Yeah, so this might very well be Julian Love's replacement unless Dane Belton takes the job, which is, of course, what the Giants are hoping. You know, you drafted that guy. He's got 3 more years of cheap salary. So, but it's a good pickup overall. It started with the Commander, and everybody knows my theory on that kind of stuff. Where do you want to take from? You want to take from your divisional opponents because you make yourself stronger, you make them weaker, and you're going to face them twice a year. It's a solid way of thinking there, and not just as I think it. Partially. Yeah. Last season, 76 tackles. I'm just more excited. 63 tackles. Less tackles. Why would you get so excited? 4 sacks. I was at 4 sacks. 4 interceptions. Yeah. 4 interceptions. I wish you got some sacks. It would be awesome. Yeah. 4 interceptions, though. I mean, that like totals all the Giants had last year for every player put together, it feels like. So, you know, I'll take a guy who can potentially get some interceptions, can move around the field, can do all kinds of things because we know the Giants love that versatility. We also had some visitors. So they're coming by, checking out the place, you know, checking out the crib, so you know what everything is. Hi. Checking out the local restaurants and all. So we have first J.C. Hassenauer with the formerly of the Steelers, played there the last 4 years. And guess what position he is? A center. A center. Do we have any centers left in this roster? Not really.
Half of
Not a
one.
true center. Not a
Yeah.
regular, run of the
Maybe
mill,
a
played
quarter
center
of
his
one.
whole career. Yeah. We got ones we think we can convert over to center, but no one that's actually played the position before. And that'll actually be our next episode, guys. I'll give you a little heads up on that on Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard. As always, we're going to discuss the center position, where we're going to go from here. But obviously, this is part of the equation potentially. So, like I said, 4 years with the Steelers, 45 games, 7 starts. So this is probably not our starter, guys. But bench piece, Cotty, that kind of move is what this is. So we also had Chris Boyd, cornerback, visit today as well. Last 4 years with the Vikings, 58 games, 6 starts. Like I said, cornerback, so many corners in this on a consistent basis. It's not even funny. Yeah, it's just it's gonna be crazy there. Let's see here. We got a couple questions. John, good to see you again, man. Dun dun dun. I am here. What you today? Two goofy bastards. Listen, I have a father, John. You've seen him. He's in the comments section. You've talked to him even.
Oh, man, it's in Arizona.
Deb comes in with, forgive my ignorance, but can a rookie center be expected to come in and start? Listen, Deb, that's not ignorance.
Depends.
First off, because it's you never know, and that's part of it. We talked about how Evan Neal had a lot of issues as a rookie coming in and starting. Tackle is probably the most difficult spot in the offensive line to start because you have nobody on one side of you to help out. You're literally, we talk about setting the edge in the defense quite often. When you're at a tackle, you're setting the edge. So when you're a guy who's a center, you have 2 guards on each side of you. You get some help. So if you make a mistake, the guy next to you can pick up the slack to a certain degree. Again, to a certain degree. But it's a position that you'll see a lot more guys come in and excel at, is like center or guard than tackle. So yeah, very well could have a rookie center starting. And we very well may go over that in the episode as well, because there's definitely some rookies we are looking at. In fact, we're going to talk about one of them here in a minute very briefly. See, and there's my dad, John. See, I told you I'm not a bastard. As he chimes in with, he didn't start for Alabama either. Yeah, no, and listen, it's weird to say that, but I think Alabama is the one school that you get people that can't start in college that go in to be a starter in the NFL potentially. It does happen sometimes. It's not often, don't get me wrong, but you get guys that are backups in Alabama that become role players or occasional, for the the NFL teams there. As John said, let's see here. He says, "Whoa, 3D by Roberto. He jumped at my screen." Oh, did you put your glasses on, John? I hope you put your glasses on. As my dad chimes in with, a good center sets the entire line. And yeah, I mean, the 100%. Center is the guy who calls out a lot of the spots he sees, a lot of things he sees from the opposing defenses and all. So yeah, very, very important. Probably a very underrated position by the NFL, I've said forever as well. So we have another visitor as well. I'm telling you, we get that welcome mat got a workout today. Seriously, linebacker Justin Hollins in for a visit as well. Last season, split time with both the Packers and the Rams. 35 tackles, 3.5 sacks. Not to be confused with interceptions. This was actually sacks. 55 games, 7 starts. Has played a little D end as well. So, interesting guy that I think is just to be, if they sign him, it's a depth piece, the camp body. You don't like to go into the draft with needs. No one does. We have needs right now. But that need is depth.
Yeah. You want to draft best player at the time, not for your needs. Because then you jump and you make bad draft picks because you're playing for your needs in the drafts.
Yeah, exactly. And if you guys need examples of that, please check out the last 10 years of drafting we've done, because that's basically how many times we need a tackle. Flowers. Oh, we need a corner. Apple. Yeah, and mostly because the people we wanted, they were gone. So Jordan Ron came out with something pretty interesting that I've been saying for quite a while, and you've been pretty much on board with me to that as well, Rob, I think. And it's nice to see somebody who actually has access to the building and all say the same thing. He said, not to listen to anyone telling you the Giants are trading for Hopkins or signing OBJ. So if you're one of those guys that's holding out hope, or you're listening to one of these other clowns, not the use of football, but the clown that discusses the Giants, and says, oh, we're going to get OBJ, or oh, we're going to go get Hopkins. Guys, it's not happening.
It's
Not happening.
No.
We don't have the money. They don't want to get a 30-year-old receiver. They want to give young guys a chance to see if they can do it. Again, OBJ is the one guy, if we can get him cheap enough, I'd be interested in. But I'm not going to, with Hopkins, I'm not going to trade away picks for a 31-year-old receiver who got all PEDs last season, and you have to pay him a ton of money.
Yeah, no. Like, once again,
I'm good.
When this coaching staff, this new organization came in, if you will, for the Giants, what do they say? Rebuild, cut cap, save money. They are not going to spend the money on a veteran guy that's over his limit and spend too much on him. They're going to go to the draft. They're going to rebuild. They're going to do exactly what they've been doing. They're going to do these 1-2 year contracts. They're going to work on rebuilding from the farm up, not picking up and overpaying receivers.
Yeah, no. John S. Anderson says, DeAndre Hopkins just signed with us. You were wrong. He did not. He did not.
Troll.
Yeah, seriously. Every group has one. Oh, yeah, we do got some news on the college front as well, which is where if we're going to get another big name receiver, that's where it's going to be is the draft. So the Giants had dinner with Jackson Smith-Njigba prior to the Ohio State Pro Day, and from what everything you see went very well. So the basically the guy showed up literally at their facility for the Pro Day in a Giants hat. If that's not a statement, I don't know what is. That's a statement, guys. Then on top of that, he was quoted as saying, I would love to play in the Big Apple in New York. It would be a blessing, a dream come true. This is not something that was pieced together. Like, that legit word for word was his quote. I had to listen to that video 3 times to get the exact wording. Luckily it was a short video. But yeah, I mean, if that's not like saying point blank, that's where I would go. Now, on top of that, the Giants sent 9 reps to the Ohio State facilities. The second largest attendance by any team at their pro day. Now, think about that for a second. They have a number 1 quarterback available. There's 2 teams that are going 1 and 2 that we know are drafting a quarterback. You would think those 2 teams would be the 2 teams that would send the most people, but the Giants were number 2.
You would think.
What does that tell you guys? They're interested in some Buckeyes. And I'll tell you, I don't think it's actually all about Smith-Njigba. As good a player as he is, and he's a player that, if you guys are listening to me talk about these rookie receivers coming into this draft here, he's the number 1 on my list. He's who I want. You're going to tell me you're going to go into the Rose Bowl, the biggest game of the year, and you're going to get over 300 yards receiving? Sign me up. I want just a guy with talent. I want a guy who's clutch, a guy who does not back down at the biggest moments, and that's what he did. But keep in mind, they also have Luke Whippler, who is, by most accounts, the 2nd or 3rd highest rated center in this draft as well. So don't think it's all about Njigba, because it very well could be that they're going, wait a minute, we need a center as well. So I think you're going to see him as a potential Giant as well. And he's a Jersey boy. He's actually from Montville. So we like the Jersey boys. That man knows point blank to call it pork roll. Exactly. Pork roll. So as Brian there shows up with exactly what I was saying, Whippler, because like I said, that's the guy that I really think is going to be the big potential get for us, because I don't think as much as this kid from Minnesota, he's going to be available to us in the late 2nd round. So unless we get him in the 1st round. As Brian says typo. I knew what you meant, Brian. I didn't point it out. You should see me typing half the time. I skip words sometime. I'm that bad. Thank God for the Google Docs, because dude, it's bad sometimes. I had over here, and I'm looking at my notes here, and we're talking earlier. I had to correct myself in my head before I even said it. I said one of the players, here it is, Bobby McCain, 87 starts. I wrote it as 87 states. He's a very well-traveled man.
And the best part is he didn't write 3 sacks. He wrote 3 interceptions.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Then I say 3 sacks. Then I said 4 sacks, but it's 4 interceptions. Yeah. I'm definitely known for the slip-ups. So other wide receivers that are coming in the draft, Jordan Addison of USC has been talked about quite often with the Giants as well. And he said point blank that the Giants have been in contact with him more than any other team in this whole process. Again, this is telling you guys. I know I keep hearing people say center, corner. Everything I'm seeing, the Giants want a receiver. The big question is there going to be a receiver available that they want at 25? They may have to trade up to get the guy they want. And are they ballsy enough to do it? We know Dable is. He's got some balls.
He's
got some big old balls there. But,
big old goofballs.
But is Shane going to be okay with doing something like that? Do they see it as that much of a need? Do they see the guy, one of these guys as that much of a fit? That's going to be interesting to see, unless they think somebody's going to slip down. But we'll see. Other news, Paris Campbell said he signed with the Giants because Brian Dable personally called him and talked to him for about 20 minutes about his abilities and what the Giants can do with his skill set. 20-minute conversation. Guys, that's the culture right there. That's the culture right there.
Listen, I love our
saying,
coach.
I want you. You come here. This is what we're going to do. Yeah, that's...
And this is how I'm going to do it.
That to me is, yeah. Yeah, that to me is
that's the boss you want.
Brian chimes in with Josh Downs should be there, I think. I don't disagree with you, Brian, that Josh is going to be there. I think he's a second-round talent. I don't want to take him in the first round. I think he's a little more of a project than I want in the first round. So I do have to do a deep dive in on him, though, still, which we'll whenever do a wide receiver episode. From everything I've seen so far, that's what I'm looking at him as more of a second-round talent that will probably go in the late first round. And you see that every year. Guys go reach. We talked about that a minute ago. They reach all the time. Alrighty. So, guess what, guys? Guess what time it is? It's time. Boom. I love the explosion at the end there. Alrighty. So, yeah, we have the news from around the league there, and we have to start with, I think, one of the most interesting pitches ever for a player to go to a football team. And it's a story involving Jimmy Garoppolo, who is kind of like, he's kind of like the heartthrob, too, of the NFL, if you listen to how the women talk about him and stuff like that. So, he's now in Las Vegas, where certain things are legal that are not legal in other states, we'll say. So he's gotten some interesting offers now as the new quarterback of the Raiders. So he was offered a lifetime platinum VIP membership at the Hustlers there, which is apparently worth $500,000. And they didn't clarify what you get for this $500,000. But yeah, that's it's apparently a big old strip club right next to the stadium too. So on top of that, let's see, we got
a little more
interesting.
So many people there.
Oh no! Here's where it gets even more interesting. It gets worse. That's the tamest of the things he's been offered so far. So Caitlin Bell and Alice Little of the Chicken Ranch Brothel have offered him free sex for life. Now you have to question, is it with them specifically or anybody at the brothel? Because in 30, 40 years, he may not want to be around those two.
Yeah, or they might not want to be around him.
I think it's safe.
They might not
have much of a choice based. He has a coupon.
I come in for my coupon.
No to the coupon.
Yeah. 50 years down the line, I got my coupon.
Oh my God.
And I brought my pills.
So, on top of that, Sherry's Ranch, a totally different brothel, offered him and a few teammates a VIP experience taking advantage of, and I quote, hotel suites, bar and restaurant, swimming pool, and jacuzzi, all expenses paid. Yeah. It's almost like, can you imagine like having this as part of the pitch? Brian chimes in with, he will have no trouble finding a tight end.
No,
yes, he will have no trouble finding a tight end.
A lot of tight
I,
ends in Vegas.
I think that's definitely pretty safe to say there. Yeah, that's crazy there.
Yeah.
Now keep in
well,
mind,
it's definitely not the best tight end for him.
John says, "I want to be Jimmy's new friend." Oh my gosh! Like I said, this is like only in Las Vegas could this happen. So speaking of Jimmy G on the football field, not on other fields there, obviously he was injured last year after being the backup of Trey Lance, and they were almost out of quarterbacks there. Brock Purdy was obviously there. Apparently the Niners actually had discussions with Big Ben about coming out of retirement to play quarterback for him. That would have been interesting. You give a look like no.
I heard the rumors too. It's just like he didn't look so good as this last 2 years in the NFL. And like you want him to come out of retirement.
He was not getting free sex if he went to the Raiders. That's for sure.
Yeah, I know. Wow.
No,
maybe
like, not
just
this guy again.
Not the same.
But yeah, so he apparently said he thought about it, but he couldn't see himself wearing any other uniform, which is code for they wouldn't pay me enough money. To be honest, that's usually what that means. You can say it nice, it sounds nice to the fans, but let's call it what it is.
I mean, the Steelers franchise was very good to that man. So at the end of the day, because a lot of probably half the NFL teams would have dropped him through like
stuck by him.
What 2 or 3 allegations he had?
Yeah,
like.
As I say, they stuck by him through a lot of allegations there. Yeah. Right or wrong, they did. We'll put it that way.
Yeah.
Longtime Patriot Dante Hightower. Yeah. So longtime Patriot Dante Hightower also retires. He'll go into the the memories of Patriot fans now. He played for them for quite a while. Obviously nowhere near, Hall of Fame caliber or anything like that, but a good career the guy had. Austin Hooper signs with the Raiders. Last season had 41 catches, 444 yards. So, yeah, I guess they're trying to replace somebody that we may have gotten. Wonder if that could be. Waller.
I mean, Hooper might be a good fit down there.
He's a better fit than Waller is because he's a true tight end that actually blocks a little better. Yeah. Keep in mind, Hooper is like Evan Ingram, but much better. So, yeah. Alrighty. So, now here's the big thing. And you're going to like this, Rob. You're going to like this because I'm going to bring up fantasy football for a minute. I know it's rare for me to bring it up. It's always you bringing it up. I'm bringing it up this time. So, there's a certain guy in Tennessee, guys, that I want you to remember. Tennessee.
Tennessee Titans.
So, and I'm going to probably mispronounce his name again. Every time we talk him up, I try to say it right. It's Chigazium Okonkwo, rookie tight end this season out of Maryland, if I remember correctly. Guy was like the best receiving tight end rookie in the rookie class. He will now be the starting tight end, guys. This guy will be a sleeper pick that you will not see picked up as high in a lot of drafts, unless you guys have somebody else very smart that listens to the program. But yeah, this is a guy to keep an eye on when you go fantasy drafting. I'm telling you, he's going to go for a lot more yards than where he's going to go draft-wise. It's going to happen. So we also had other news today. We had, yeah, watch you draft him like Drew was wrong. Damn it! Son of a bitch. He gets injured the first drive. So
OJ Howard all over again.
Jets signed today McCole Hardman, 1 year, $6.5 million, and then they went ahead and traded Elijah Moore to the Browns. They got pick number 42 and gave up 72. So basically, they gave up the third, got a second. They got up one round, and they're giving up Elijah Moore in the process, who's, let's be honest, has been probably one of the most disgruntled Jets. And that's basically.
Fair. That's fair enough to say. Yeah.
Yeah. So, alrighty. So we also have the ex-Giant Riley Dixon, the punter, has gone ahead and been signed now by the Denver Broncos. And of course, he used to be a Denver Bronco back in the day as well. So second tour of duty with them. Colts also signed wide receiver former Bill that a lot of people talked about the Giants potentially being interested in, because apparently we're interested in every former Bill, Isaiah McKenzie. So Isaiah McKenzie now becomes a Colt, basically replaces Paris Campbell. It all goes in circles in the NFL. It all goes in circles. Yeah.
Pretty much.
So, so guys, it is officially time to go ahead and go into our mock draft here. What's going to happen? No one knows. Where does the pick stop? The 7th round.
25.
25. Well, that's going to be the fun thing, is we just, you just don't know what's going to happen exactly in this, because literally, like I said, this is live, guys. Anything can happen. So what we're going to do is we're going to go, as my dog tries to come into the room here, we're going to go ahead and do, like I said, where Rob and I both give our thoughts on who we want to pick. And then from there, if there's a tie, the tie does not go to the runner, because we're not running, we're podcasting. The tie is going to go to whoever is the first person to comment as a tiebreaker. So a little fun for you guys there. So let's get that up and rolling.
Rolling.
Keep rolling. Now, for those of you guys on a smaller device, I know if you got on a laptop or a TV, it's going to be a little more difficult to see the screen we are sharing here. So don't worry, we will be calling out here. And obviously, if you guys are listening to us on audio, you can't see anything at all.
Sorry,
but we will, like I said, we're going to go ahead and give you guys everything we're doing here. Obviously, we're doing all 7 rounds. We're going to go ahead and do, obviously, as the Giants, and we're going to use the PFN mock draft. If anybody's curious which one we know, I know there's a lot of always debate on which one's the best one, which one you should go with. I just happen to like their system. Here we go. CJ Stroud, Bryce Young start us off there.
And Drew, we're not going to do any trade ups, trade outs, right? We're just going straight up for our picks.
No, we are going straight up here, guys. No cheating, because you can cheat like crazy. Yeah, there's Smith and Jigma going at number 15 to the Packers. Robinson went to the Commanders. We just talked about him a minute ago. Let's see. Now I'll give you guys what offers we have, but we're not going to take it no matter what. So first offer we have here is pick number 36 and pick 77 from the Rams, which honestly I would probably take that kind of pick depending on who's available when we go to draft there. Second offer we have is pick 67 and a first round pick next year from Denver. So yeah, like I said, we're going to reject them all. Let's see what we got here. We got Brian Breesy, defensive tackle, Clemson. Trenton Simpson, linebacker at Clemson. A lot of Clemson here. Peter Skornowski from the Northwestern. Got Gibbs, running back from Alabama. Meyer, the tight end at Notre Dame. Hyatt from Tennessee, the wide receiver. I got to say, I don't like who we got left at all here, Rob.
I'm not a big fan. No. I ran a few different simulations. And
this is not a good setup for us at all.
I would have to go with
this is probably the worst one I've seen. This is the problem doing it live.
Yeah. We'll have to go with Trent Simpson.
You want to go with Trent Simpson?
Yeah, linebacker out of Clemson.
Do something a little different. I'm going to do something a little different. I'm going to actually go, as much as he's not who I want at all, typically, but I'm going to say Hyatt, the wide receiver out of Tennessee. Really fast guy. He needs a lot of work, though, on his routes and a lot of work overall. I don't like a project in the first round, but that's who I'm going with. So you guys got to go in the comments section. We got Simpson. We got Hyatt. Who are you guys taking? As John already said, Ojulari. We can't do Ojulari. It's not one of the options, John. So let's see. Who you guys got? Because it's interesting. And we got first one at Brian with Hyatt. So we're taking the wide receiver. Speedy guy. Really speedy guy. And, it reminds me of Deb. You were the sponsor, too, and you just missed it.
What did Deb say?
It's a lot of work, but listen, you can speed. As Chad Powers says, you got to think fast, be fast. Oh my God, Nolan Smith went number 39. See who we got. We're coming up soon here, folks. We are coming up soon with our second round selection here. Look to see. Oh, Schmitz is gone.
57.
The center everybody wanted, Soda. He's gone. Drew Sanders just went as well. Let's see. Offers we got is pick number 50 and 209 in exchange for pick 60 and 31. And we also got offered 63 and pick next year from the we got 57 obviously, but also the 60. So yeah, see who we got here. So big thing you got to look at is what positions do we really want to go ahead and shore up here. So Rob, go first. Who you got?
I'm gonna have to go with the cornerback of Mississippi State with Torps over here. I like the CB, and I want to get a CB.
You going to Emmanuel Forbes?
Yeah. I'm blind.
I'm with you on that 100% as far as that. He's also a very versatile scheme guy, which is nice because he's a guy we can go ahead and use later on. We do change up the defensive wink go. So I'm with you. We're going Emmanuel Forbes, cornerback out of Mississippi State. Let's see who we got up next here. I'm telling you guys, though, it's just like this is actually, and I've run a decent amount of these things to prepare. This is one of the worst ones we've had option.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Go with. Usually I have the option of like a center in the second round, and let's see here. See if we got any big names coming up off here. Stephen Villa of TCU just went. Kai Blue Kelly, I wanted him out of Stanford. He's a pure press guy. Let's see what we got. So what we got offered this time was the 98th pick and the 6th round pick next year. That originally came from Houston, and that's from the Browns there. But we're not taking that. We are not taking that. Alrighty, so here's what we got. Hendon Hooker's still available. I got to say, that's kind of tempting. Like, if DJ fails, that's a guy that you could maybe turn around into or something like that. Plus, on top of that, that's a guy that, even if DJ does great, as we hope he does, obviously. I don't mean to sound like a hater when I say it that way. But it's something you can turn around to a higher pick later on for, potentially. But you know what? I'm going to go with the need, though. I'm gonna say that I want to do Luke Whippler. We just talked about him a minute ago out of Ohio State, the center. He's right there, ranked number 94. So slightly early, but we're not going to get him later on potentially. And it's a huge need. I don't think it's too bad a reach. Who you got, Rob?
I want to disagree with you, but I can't, because I just think with the way that the Giants organization is set up right now, they're looking to draft a young line, and that's something that they would do, is get this guy and develop him through, and structure young offensive line that'll be there for years to protect, DJ or whatever quarterback they decide to get down the line.
Yeah, no, like I said, I think it's a smart move to get. Again, you got a Jersey boy. You got a guy who protects the middle in a very important position. It's all something that you really want to do. Like it's a sound move.
Yeah.
So let's see here. So we're gonna go ahead and make that selection. We got Luke Whippler coming. So we got a corner, we got a center, we got a wide receiver. Here we go into round 4 now, because we're missing that pick, keep in mind. Because we gave that pick to the Raiders.
But I say, that's drafting Waller right there. Fantastic.
Let's see here.
There's a lot of cheese in this round.
A lot of cheese in this round. There's a lot of Packers here. Not as many Packers as the Bunny Ranch that Jimmy G's going to. All right, here we are, pick 128, and we didn't get offered a damn thing. We didn't get offered anything at all. So yeah, let's see. So we got Sean Tucker out of Syracuse. We got Darius Rush out of South Carolina. We got Jacqueline Roy out of LSU. We've talked about him before. Oregon State corner Alex Austin. Travarius Hodges Tomlinson's LaDainian Tomlinson's nephew out of TCU. Emil Ekiyor Jr. guard out of Alabama. Oof, we got a lot of options, guys. We got a lot of options. Honestly, I can go so many different ways in this. I really can.
Yeah, I mean,
part of me wants to go Sean Tucker and have a decent backup for Barkley, especially if he gets hurt again. Got a history. Also go ahead and take, another corner. Because let's be honest, again, Adoree gets hurt every single year. Emil Ekiyor, I don't even know that much about him, to be honest. But I'm like, okay, it's a guard. It's a guy out of Alabama, which obviously is a big-time school here. That's hard to say now because we definitely need, Andrew Voorhees, we got out of USC. John Gaines, it's another center out of UCLA. Oof. I'm torn here, man. I'm torn. Because I really want the other center. And I'm like, what do you think? Where are you at?
I mean, you're absolutely right. I would love Tucker as a backup. We definitely need depth in that secondary. But I want to take Jacqueline Roy from UCL. LSU. Wow, I can't talk today. Fill me.
All right, so you want the tackle at LSU. I'm gonna say this. I want to double up. I want to double up on corner. And
listen, you're not wrong. I was contemplating that when you're coming down the line. Like I was looking at Tucker right away, but you gotta go to Rory.
I want Hodgins Tomlinson. I want because this guy is the perfect press corner. The only issue I have is his arm length, but he's a perfect press corner, which is exactly what we do. So guys, it's up to you in the chat here. I feel bad people listening on audio. They're like, damn it, take this guy. But yeah, like I said, which one do you guys want? Do you want the defensive tackle at a LSU Roy, or do you want the cornerback at a TCU Hodgins Tomlinson and double up in that corner position? Let's see what you guys think here.
If you're listening to the morning on your ride into work, just yell out to the next person who you want.
Just randomly.
Just roll down your window and be like, hey, Roy, no, Rush.
Yeah, just randomly.
Just random people. They'll know.
Yeah, randomly. You should just do that in general, and then maybe yell at them to listen to Two Giant Goofballs. That's probably the best thing here. So, who you guys got? Who you guys got here? We got here we go. A Deb. I almost missed your comment there. She said to go with Roy, so we are going.
Step, boom.
We are going with the defensive tackle. And as we're going, my dad's put a couple of times on this. If you don't address the old line, it's because DJ will fail. I'm on that. I don't want to reach.
Yeah,
I don't want to reach. I already reached a little bit at the center
right now.
Are we getting more brothel jokes again? Let's see who we got. Oh, Zach Pickens just got taken. That's one of the guys I was looking at as the lead defensive tackle too. Luckily, we just got one. Maybe that was a good move. Maybe that was. All right, so we got pick number 160. Oh, yes. We got Dennis, linebacker out of Pittsburgh. We got Torrance out of Florida, this safety. We got running back Tavion Thomas out of Utah. Oh, we got Colby Wooden out of defensive tackle out of Auburn. Dorian Williams, linebacker out of Tulane. Let's see. I'm going to say, in the end, I think we really need to look at doing a safety here. Because
that's where I was going.
We're gonna need some more. We're like going big in the secondary here. I kind of feel like I'm with my dad here on the O line thing, but I think we're gonna have to get a couple cheap guys or count on our guys that work on the guards positions. I mean, Glowinski's gonna stay obviously. Bredesen would be, I think, a good left guard for us. So as long as we got the center works out for us, we're good to go. I think for the most part.
And hopefully Neil plays well.
Yeah, so Rashad Torrance is second. I got. Who you got?
Rashad Torres at second. Yeah, same. I was going safeties too. Like, as soon as I saw that lineup, the first 5 guys, there's no doubt in my mind, Torres.
Yeah, so we are actually, it's like we're like 50-50 on the agreeing and not agreeing thing, I feel like.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah.
Yeah. The only issue I have with him is he's more of a zone guy than he is a man guy, but it's like, sometimes I wonder with these guys, is it that, or is it because of the fact that that's what he played in college? I mean, you can't hold it against them and say they can't play the position because they didn't play it in, that type of position.
If you're not playing that scheme in college,
Yeah.
you can't hold it against them for not doing it.
Yeah.
It's just not what they played.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
It's not because they couldn't. It's not what they did.
Yeah. Alrighty. We are off to our next pick here. Off to the road to the next pick. 172 is coming up quick. 172 is coming up quick.
Coming up quick.
Alrighty. Coming up. Alrighty. So, let's see. We got Colby Wooden from Auburn still available. Dorian Williams from Tulane still available. Jackson Player, defensive tackle out of Baylor. Jay Ward, safety out of LSU. Let's see.
Stuff to address that O-line.
Oh, we do. But it's like, do we want to get another guard to the mix? We just drafted 2 last year. We got Bredesen, we got Kowinski, and that's the only one coming up here available. So, I think I look at what are the rest of our needs depth-wise, because obviously we're not in a early, a pick here. And Brian's already chimed in, and he wants us to take the wide receiver out of Princeton, Andre. Brian, you're gonna I wish you can help me out with the pronunciation of this name here. Iosivas. Iosivas. Is it an L or an I? I don't know. But yeah, that's.
I guess it would be an I. Iosivas.
We got more Jersey people here, I guess. More Jersey people, 6'3", 200 pounds. Listen, we got a lot of John's coming in safety. We just said it, John. You know what? I'm gonna get a lot of people saying that they want us to get this kid out of Princeton, and you know what? I'm gonna make the people happy. I'm gonna say let's go. Make the people happy. So yeah, I'm gonna go with it. So what do you got?
Make the people happy. Because that's a hard position.
Iosivas, as Mark Montavo joins us here and gives us the proper pronunciation. This is that time of the year. You know how difficult it is to get the names and pronunciation of like 300 people coming in here. So let's see. Ideal role here for saying on the draft to profile him starting X receiver, touch used in all 3 levels of the field. They're comparing like a Christian Watson kind of guy. That's pretty impressive for a guy getting this late here. So, yeah. So let's go. Last year, 66 catches, 943 yards, 7 touchdowns. So yeah, game, Rob.
I'm game. Let's do it, man.
Giving people what they want.
Giving people what they want. Let's go, Jersey.
Done. We're on to round 6, guys. We're on to round 6. Yes, as Beeve White also times in the same thing. So yeah, everybody loves this kid out of Princeton. Maybe it's because I'm here in Florida. I don't hear as much about him. Princeton Tiger games we're watching right here in Florida. Let's see here. We're almost down.
Everyone's just happy over Jersey.
We're almost down. I seriously, we got a lot of people in the comments like, wow, yes, let's go for it. I haven't seen as much outpouring of support for a player still on the board at this point this whole time. So let's see. Alrighty, so here we are. So we got a kid from Duke. We can make DJ happy here. Get some more Duke players. I think we have like the Guinness World Record for like most Duke players on an NFL roster. If we get one more, probably. But yeah, we have Shaka Hayward. Had a Duke linebacker, Jalen Redmond, defensive tackle at Oklahoma. Let's see, Deneric Prince, running back out of Tulsa. So, let's see. Yeah, I'm torn because part of me says we need to get another running back. And part of me says we also need to go ahead and get some more depth at the running back. I would say the linebacker position. So it's kind of like, where do we want to go?
I'm going to go with Cam Jones out of Indiana, linebacker. Like, may not make DJ happy, but
may not make him happy.
But
you know what? I'm going to do something a little different, actually. I just see a name on the board here I kind of like. Malik Cunningham, quarterback, Louisville. I'm going for that as my pick. The reason why, he's got a lot of physical tools, has some accuracy issues, has some mechanics issues. This is a guy that I think if you sit behind DJ for a year or two, get him to be a good, cheap backup quarterback for a few years there for us. So, yeah, I'm going to go with Malik Cunningham, quarterback out of Louisville.
All right. You know what? A 3-time team captain, but okay. You go with your quarterback.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. So you got Cam Jones. You're saying Cam Jones. I'm saying Cunningham. So it's up to the commoners. Who we're going with. We're going with getting linebacker, versatility and talent, which I like. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But yep, Deb, Cam Jones. She says first one. Cam Jones. Alrighty, guys. We are going into the 7th round now. 7th round. It's the final
countdown. Get the final draft pick.
Oh no, we have a few draft picks. I think we have like 7. We have 3 picks in the 7th round. So yeah, we got quite the smorgasbord of 7th round picks here to go. Yeah, let's see what we got. Let me verify. 1, 2, 3. Yep, there we go. We have 3 more picks to go, guys. Alrighty. So we have Marshawn Ford, tight end of Louisville. Anthony Orji.
Right.
Linebacker out of Vanderbilt. We know he's playing with
he's playing with the group, all right.
He's playing with Jimmy G.
Yeah.
He's a real team player, that Orji.
He really gets around.
Byron Young, defensive tackle at Alabama. Cameron McDonald, who had a farm, tight end at Florida State. We got some interesting ones here. You know what? I know we just went linebacker. I know we did. I'm going to give you guys another linebacker who I want to pick. We talked about him on our previous, I think the second version we did of this. Bumper Pool, linebacker at Arkansas, because the guy is a really good special teams player. It's the main reason I want him. We got some cheaper guys right now that have been playing pretty good for our special teams for a couple of years, but at this point, they've shown no growth. They're special teams linebackers. That's it. I want to get a younger guy. Maybe you can see if we actually get him on the actual football field, during defense. See if he's not just the guy that we got for, the 3 tackles a year and the kickoff returns. So I'm going to go with Bumper Pool, linebacker out of Arkansas.
Nice. I'm going to go with Byron Young, defensive tackle out of Alabama.
Ooh, you're going more defensive tackles.
Listen, I want the depth, man. 20 solo tackles last year and 3.5 sacks. So,
alrighty.
In the 7th round.
So, guys, we got Byron Young, defensive tackle out of Alabama, or Bumper Pool, linebacker out of Arkansas. Freaking Bama. Let's see who they pick here.
Coming up.
We are just getting some good depth, at least for the defense. That we are.
And I feel like with this mock draft, this is like where we're coming. It's like, hey, there's no offensive line coming here. Defense.
There's not. I would have loved to get some more. Well, at least we fixed the center position, hopefully.
Hopefully.
But, there's not been the studs available, that the guys that I would like to go ahead and get here.
Yeah, in the depth spots, yeah.
So, again, guys, we got Byron Young, defensive tackle out of Alabama, or Bumper Pool, linebacker out of Arkansas. See what you guys think there, because we definitely need either one potentially here. As we get a random ad also for new vitamin water, zero sugar on there. That's the downfall of using their website. There with their ads also get played on our show here. Let's see here. I think everybody's torn here. Alrighty, Deb for name Oni Bumper Pool. Listen, I'm with you on that point. That's a cool name.
I'm not mad.
He actually his name too. All right, and guys, we are right on back. We are right on back because we only had 2 picks in between us, so we pretty much got the same exact players. So I know that Rob is probably going to sit there and say, "Let's go ahead and take Byron Young again." He probably is, but let's see. Rob, is that who you want to still go with? He's still available.
Still available.
Go with him still. Still the one.
You're still the one.
So, you know what? I'm going to go with a little different this time. I'm going to go with Tayshaun Manning, guard out of Kentucky.
I was looking at him before too, but
I'm going to go with it. I'm going to go with it because I think we got to come in with, it's almost. I'm almost picking based on need, which I hate to do, but it's like I feel like we need to get a second guy that can play, the interior offensive line out of this draft. Especially look how many injuries we had last year.
And it's also the 7th round, so it's not like you still got a lot of depth. You can still get a lot of talent out of it, but
yeah. And what I like on him is, Tayshaun Manning specifically, is he's a big guy. He's got some versatility. He needs work in his technique. I will always take technique issues because
coaches will help that. Like there's just nothing wrong with that.
If you got the right coach. So we got either Byron Young, Alabama again. Rob's a little obsessed. Or
2 picks later, 3 picks later.
Or Tayshaun Manning, guard out of Kentucky, guys. As my dad chimes in with the Kentucky O-line stunk last year. Oh, John comes in first with can't go wrong with the Manning. So, Tayshaun Manning, it is.
You went twice off names, man.
It's one. We got one more pick to go, and I'm going to give you guys one that probably won't come up on the list here. I'm going to go that weird on it. So, here we go. The orgy's still available. The guy named the last name Orgy is still available, Rob. If you're picking off just name alone like we've been doing for some of these. We got.
If we're talking about depth and offensive guard, we're going to go with Jermone Cavern out of Tennessee.
You're going you want to do a second guard back to back to back? Okay.
Well, I'm going to. So went back to back to back. Not me.
Oh. We got Tyson Bagant. 2 people saying to go with it. 2 on comments here. I'm just saying.
It looks like we have to give it to the people.
No, we don't.
Wait, Ron. We don't.
No, we don't. No, we don't. Let's see. Where is he?
He's under the orgy.
Not even coming up, guys. He's not even coming up, guys. He must have been drafted already. So, I'm going to go with something a little different. Michael Turk, punter out of Oklahoma. I want the Scottish Hammer gone. The Scottish Hammer has to go.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, yes. You know how much I dislike that guy. He's like, it's the weirdest thorn in my side at the punter. But this guy cannot get hang time down. He cannot get a corner down. He just has a big leg. Which I granted is one more thing that he has that I don't have. I have none of those 3. But still, he's just not that good. And I know the Giants are talking about it's the gunner's fault and blah, blah, blah. The gunner didn't kick the damn football into the end of the end zone, okay? That's not the gunner. That's not the gunner. So, I'm going to go. John could don't diss Scotland freedom. Listen, you can take my punter. But you can never take my touchback. So that's up to you guys then now. Jerome Carvin, guard out of Tennessee, or Michael Turk, punter out of Oklahoma. So we get the punter, we get another guard, back-to-back guards here. Let's see what they think. I'm hoping it's the punter. I really am.
Or you guys think?
We got Garvin. My dad chimes in with Garvin. He meant Carvin, but we got it. So we got another offensive guard. That'd be... Oh, Deb, you just missed it. You said Turk there's 2 minutes too late here. So here we are, guys. We got Jalen Hyatt, first round, wide receiver out of Tennessee. Emmanuel Forbes, cornerback out of Mississippi State for our second pick. Third pick, Luke Weipler, center out of Ohio State. So we got 3 starters, I feel like, in this.
Yeah, it looks pretty solid out there.
First overall pick. He probably develop into one, but these two I'm confident would be corner 2 and starting center right now, especially based on our current roster. Jacqueline Roy, tackle, LSU. Rashad Torrance, the second safety out of Florida. Andre, where was that? Woo. This was the fan pick here. We got to go back to how they said to go ahead and spell this, to pronounce this name.
So how to spell it's right there in front of you, man.
Here we go. I've had a pretty... listen, I can't spell anything. It's Yoshivas. Oh, that's. Listen, I almost didn't want to pick him based on the name alone because I can't pronounce it. Cam Jones, linebacker out of Indiana. Bumper Pool, linebacker out of Arkansas. Tashawn Manning, guard out of Kentucky, and Jerome Carvin, guard out of Tennessee. So, yeah, I think we got some good picks here overall. I didn't want to do too much on the comments with you guys here as we were, giving that part out specifically because it takes up a lot of the screen as it is. But I do want to go back real quick and go over some of the comments here with you guys because we definitely do appreciate you guys coming on and giving us some of your thoughts here as we get everything back up and go in here again. Let's see, comments.
Go into the comment section.
Oh yeah, we have so many comments here. So many comments. We had some strong opinions here. Some strong opinions. Alrighty. Let's see, where is the first one here? All right, my dad chimes in with, this is a deep draft for tight ends. I don't disagree, and I think we can get one nice a rookie free agent. Do you want both the Ojolaris? Brian suggesting Hyatt, who we got? And then Deb saying Simpson, just missed that one. She said, can I get my money back? I'm sorry, Deb, no refunds. My dad says you can't draft a deep threat without having a competent O-line. He's not wrong there. But imagine having 2 deep threats. We've always had, the last couple of years, all we've had is Slayton. So to have a second guy that's really speedy like that, open up that middle, almost like if you had a great tight end with that. Just saying. Waller will be a beast in that. All right, so Brian chimes in with he's got to clean up his technique. His hips were sloppy.
That's what he said.
That was in reference to Emmanuel Forbes, if I'm correct. Correct me if I'm wrong, Brian, there, but I'm pretty sure that's what you said. And then my dad chimes in, Hooker will probably not get out of the first round. Too many teams need QBs. I think somebody will actually probably draft him in the very late first round because they're going to want to get that 5th-year option out of him. John comes in, McDonald. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. My dad says, need a center and a guard in the first 3 rounds. I agree with you if they're available. If they're available.
Not reaching.
I'm not reaching. John goes, no, the Ravens took my Mingo. Yes, the Ravens took him. Brian says, Hickman, we brought him up on our latest episode. Yeah, it's like, this is what always happens, though. Like, we get a couple of guys, and we always want to go ahead and get them, and it's just like, unfortunately, it's just, we have so many needs. That's the problem. It's like, so, yeah. Let's see.
Rebuild, man.
Yeah,
there's a lot of needs.
There is, and I can't be the team that did. By the way, the show he was talking about in the latest episode, Brian, if you guys didn't get a chance to see the episode that Brian and his crew were on, Big Blue Unfiltered, a New York Giants podcast. Good show. Definitely recommend listening. So, yeah, John comes in. My cousin Vinny, you're an Alabama. Deb said, Roy.
What?
My dad says, if we don't address the O-line early in the draft, nothing else matters because DJ will fail. See, I told you he put a couple comments in there. John says, our female viewers still want Cox. Okay. Deb says, make no assumptions. John says, LOL. Mark Montavo says, what up, y'all?
Mark?
What up, Mark? Good to see you again, man. And then here comes everybody giving me the information on how to go ahead and pronounce the last name that I still can't pronounce. John says, safety. And here we go. More and more. They didn't really like this kid at Princeton. I'm about to look him up now. Oh. And Brian says the issue is the competition he played against. That's true. I mean, this guy was going against, like guys that are Ivy Leaguers that'll probably never go near. They're more likely to work at NASA than in the NFL. So, Giants have been talking to him. He's raw, but has good speed and runs good routes. Here we go. See, save it for Tyson Baggett. They really wanted him at that point. There was a couple guys in there. There's Dad with Cam Jones. RC Skits, running back, Kansas State, with the 7th rounder would be a solid pickup. Listen, I'm all for getting a late round running back if we can get one. You know what I really like is I like to get a guy who's, and I did this in a couple of my mocks that I did earlier to kind of prepare for this, and I'd like to do a not necessarily to his talent level because that's easier said than done, but a Brandon Jacobs type, a big guy, a bruiser, the guy that's going to go in and just totally
almost a fullback.
If you guys notice, 3rd and 1, 4th and 1, who is running the ball? DJ. That's not good. He's gonna get hurt that way. He's gonna. John comes in with, we need edge rusher. Someone's gotta become that beast. That's Thibodeau. Thibodeau's got to become that beast. Brian, he's a great downhill guy. And I think that's when we talk about bumper pool. But again, Brian, correct me if I'm wrong. That's when Deb says for the name only bumper pool. Let's see here. John says, if not, I'm down for an orgy. Oh, my. Brendan and Mark says, Brendan will be fine at center if it's who we have, Azudu, to fill in for him at right guard and play well. Listen, Azudu, I always heard of him being talked about a possible center as well. We got Shane Lemieux as well. Again, Friday, guys, we're going to talk about the center position overall, internal and external options, both free agency, trade, draft, all that kind of fun stuff there. Again, Friday, 9 o'clock. Ken Cristiano, good choice. Oh, I'm wondering which one he thought was a good choice. Mark said, after 4th round BPA. I don't disagree with you on that. Unfortunately, in this case here, listen, we're going to do 1 or 2 more mocks before this is over, before the draft comes around. But in this case here, I'm working what we got. And these holes. Again, that's what Jimmy Garoppolo said. My dad says, the Kentucky O-line stunk last year. Yeah, he's not wrong there. And I know we drafted one, but I'm still saying that. But John S. Anderson, can't go wrong with a Manning. My dad says they almost got Levis killed. Listen, how many times did Daniel Jones almost get killed? But Andrew Thomas is still a good player. So, and sometimes it's the rest of them around. Tyson Baggett. They really do want him. Let's see. Leperky, watch his tape. He's like Mike Allscott. And that's, Mark, that's 10 years ago. That'd be great. Unfortunately, that's just not the NFL nowadays. If you got a guy like that, that's just, we don't have a fullback in the roster anymore. No more Elijah Penny. Shout out to Elijah Penny if he's actually watching too as well, because we keep talking about him coming on. And every time we go to schedule with him, it's like we have issues there trying to schedule it. Brian says 5K passing yards last 2 seasons at Shepherd. Ian, big arm, backup QB. These guys just built this. Listen, we're going to have to watch their show because I have a feeling it's going to be like a love fest on this kid here. So we're going to have to listen to see what's going on. Ken Cristiano, wow. What's the wow?
Oh, listen.
Wow. Oh, you know what? This was when I was dissing the punter, I think. I really think that's when I think that's when that was. Because here's John with don't diss Scotland from my dad picked Garvin for us there. And then Deb said Turk, and we just missed getting the punter that I would. Mark says neither. John says no punter for you. Mark says Luperky. Ian says Bretton Strange, depth tight end. My dad says Wipler may be gone before 3rd round. He might be. John says that wide receiver name is Murder. He needs a nickname. Okay, yeah, we'll just name him Murder. His name is Murder now.
Yeah, Murder She Wrote.
Bride says, yeah, that was Forbes. I thought so. Okay. And my dad says, if the best O-line available is a tackle, take him, move Neal to guard. I think it's kind of a give-up move at this point if we do that, though. Right? I mean, we got the guy.
A little bit, yeah. I mean,
7th overall in the draft, and after 1 year, we're going to move him over to guard? I mean,
yeah, it's
I honestly
premature.
I honestly think that this is a spot where we need to get a good veteran swing tackle, hopefully at some point this offseason. So that way, if Neal does struggle and we have to pull him or move him into guard, we have a guy. But I don't want to go into the season with an obvious, like, okay, you're moving into guard. You don't draft typically a guard 7th overall. That's already admitting after one season that that's a mistake, that pick. I don't want to admit that yet. And I'm not saying that it's going to be or it's not going to be. We don't know yet.
And it's one season. He was a rookie.
Andrew Thomas looked pretty bad again. I mean, again, I don't expect him to be Andrew Thomas. Don't get me wrong. But Andrew Thomas also looked pretty bad after his first year. So, yeah. So, yeah, like I said, I'm pretty happy with it overall. Again, depending on what else we do in the offseason. That's always the problem with doing it this early here. That's also, again, the fun of not having all the, the ability to go ahead and do it a couple of times to get the players you want. It's definitely not how I would have liked the draft to come for us there. But I'd be happy. We got a couple of starters. We got a really fast receiver. We got some good defensive depth pieces. We got a couple of, a developmental offensive linemen. Can't complain with that in the end. So, alrighty, guys. So before we get going today, we also have for you here. Practice. He'll be better this year, hopefully. I mean, he's a hardworking guy. I have no doubt on that one. There's some guys you really go, oh, is he gonna do well, or is he gonna be somebody that we're not gonna have to, we're gonna have to keep an eye on? I don't think so with this kid. I really don't. So we got a couple more picks to show you guys of some of our fun we're having on social media too as well. So it is time. Oh, yes. Fun on social media. And you guys will notice there's a couple of different players and teams we're going to mock pretty often because we're just jerks. We like to beat them up repetitively. It is what it is.
And goofballs.
So, first one we got here from the Dog Pound Daily, which is also the Gazette that I heard Jimmy Garoppolo is also listening to as well. So... Cleveland Browns need to give Watson weapons ASAP, article says, get this man some weapons. I said, what kind of weapons? A table, a small towel, perhaps some essential oils? Ooh, snap. Essential. Oh, yeah. Next, we have from the NFC East Trash Talk, which this video is shared in there. So I always find a funny way to do the group ones, because if they're actually watching, I'm probably like, damn it. But, so, and I noticed this is one of those things that Eagle fans and Cowboy fans hate each other much more than either one of those teams hate us. I see a lot more Cowboys-Eagles stuff going back and forth. So, yeah, Eagles fans are jealous of these 4 quarterbacks, it says. And then they got a picture of Dak, Romo, Staubach, and Aikman. So I put, maybe the right side they are. The left side has many rings as Donovan McNabb and Randall Cunningham, but less Super Bowl appearances and playoff wins. Not wrong.
Not wrong.
Alrighty. So, also from the NFC East Trash Talk, installed on this property, it's Mark, folks. Dak is that guy. Dak apparently has got a football field in his backyard now, and he's practicing. So we said, should he invite the corners from other teams as well, so he can point to them too?
It's a good move.
Ooh, yeah. a lot of interceptions. Yeah. From the NFC East Trash Talk, alert because they signed Ronald Jones, the backup running back, and person put championship team loading its 6th title. It's been loading for 26 years with the loading symbol. 30 years. Oh, they must have the worst internet connection ever. So we hear another in NFC East Trash Talk. Don't argue with these bums. We know why they mad. This is the dream of Philadelphia Eagle fans, and they're showing all the rings. So what do? Here you go. Looks like you can use this, a bottle of Rust-Oleum, rust dissolver. Oh yeah. Got to go after those Cowboy fans. Nothing better than going to groups and annoying both fans within the same exact thing. It's a lot of fun for some reason. I don't know why. So, yeah, guys. So, like I said, I think overall, not a bad draft. It's a couple of things I'd like to make changes on, that's for sure, but not a bad draft overall. I would have loved to get one of the better receivers, that's for sure, in the first pick. Unfortunately, they're all taken, and you keep hearing about the Giants being interested in these guys. I don't think a lot of these guys that we're being linked to are going to be available at pick 25. So I'm going to throw this out to you guys. I think, and maybe I'm just crazy, because I am crazy, I think that the Giants are looking to maybe trade up. Because if you're really serious about some of these top receivers, they're not going to be there at 25. So that's what I think is going to happen. I think they're going to trade up. I think they're going to trade up. They're going to go ahead and get a guy like that. I'm just worried about what they're giving up because we still have to, at least how it sits now, we want to get another weapon. We don't even have to. We want to get another weapon. That seems pretty obvious. We need a center. Would love to get a top quality guard. That's more of a love than a need, in my opinion. I also want a corner, at least one. You saw I wanted two. So we're gonna see. We're gonna see what happens, but it's gonna be interesting. John says, "How do we feel about Perk going forward?" Well, you can feel however you want. I'll put it that way. John, we'll never be that show, but I'll say that I don't think that he's gonna be even on the team next year. I listen. The guy couldn't even beat out Nate Solder a couple years ago. Can't beat out Nate Solder. Like, literally the worst tackle in all of football a couple years ago, and he couldn't beat him. I'm good.
Yeah. He's not going to be around for much longer. He's
he'll be in camp, I think. He'll be in camp because he's cheap enough to keep around as a body. But I don't think he'll make it out of camp. So, John says, Aikman has no idea where he is. Mr. Concussion. Oh my God. And then Mingo.
Mingo.
Alrighty, folks. So, we want to thank you guys for listening in here, watching, whichever one you're doing. Again, we are always live on Facebook. We're live on Twitter. We're live on YouTube. We're live also on Twitch. And we're also live on my LinkedIn page, of all places. We also are available, of course, afterwards. If you're not available to watch live, we typically go live each Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 9 p.m. We're also available afterwards if you want it for your morning commute the next day on pretty much every single audio podcast platform known to man there. So go ahead and listen that way if you prefer. Or if you prefer, hit subscribe on all of them. All of them. Because, listen, we like that. We like when people hit subscribe on all of them. So, again, we got to give a special thank you there to our sponsor for going ahead and donating to the show here, Deb Ellis, our sponsor. Thanks, again, thank you very much, Deb. Much appreciated. Glad you were on as well to get the thank you as well. I'm always nervous when that happens, that someone's going to give us money like that and they're not going to be on for us to thank next time. Those people were so ungrateful. They didn't say anything. No, we do appreciate it. So again, it's buymeacupofcoffee.com/2giantgoofballs if you guys would like to go ahead and donate to the show there. Again, buymeacupofcoffee.com/2giantgoofballs. And again, folks, please do go ahead and share the show there to any friends of yours that you think might be interested in Giant fans. Everybody knows some good Giant fans. And if you don't, you're in the wrong group. You're in the wrong group. Yeah. So, again, thank you very much for listening in. And as John says, oh no, it's time, go G-Men. Oh yes, it is that time. It's time for Go G-Men! Go G-Men!
Thanks for listening to Two Giant Goofballs, a New York Giants podcast. We appreciate your support. If you made it this long, you must have enjoyed it. So I am sure you have followed us on all the social media platforms. Of course, you have subscribed to the show on your favorite app as well and given us a top rating. Right? Right? Right?